Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host Gamer K, and it's another great video, and this one has been years in the making. First off, I just want to say Happy St. Patrick's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Even though I don't really drink at all, still want to send a shout out to people, and because yesterday, want to give a big shout out, a happy birthday to my older sister. Okay, my only sister, but she's still the older one. Hope you had an amazing day. I know you did because you don't stop talking about it. But anyway, with that out of the way, anytime it's someone in my family's birthday, I always, during the time of the video, I always give a shout out. Just because I'm that good of a person. And now let's get down to the video I've been wanting to do for years. But I was always afraid to do this video because of the timing. Because The Wolf Among Us is one of my favorite Telltale games. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I thought the sequel was never going to come. Because of all the games they did, they got shut down, they got revived, and then they announced in 2018, they got shut down. And then the re-trailer was out last year, and then this year we finally got the trailer for season 2 coming 2023. So mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. 2023 is official, and if you haven't seen the trailer, the small trailer for the game, go look at it now. It's only a little bit, but it's glorious. And that gets into the topic of this week's video. Another top 13 video, but this one is more of my ideas of what we can kind of expect in Season 2. And yeah, this isn't a traditional top 13 list, but this is basically another one where whenever I'm doing videos of my key points of ideas, like when I did my missed opportunities in Assassin's Creed series, what went wrong in Kingdom Hearts 3, what went wrong in Kingdom Hearts Batman Arkham Knight, or my predictions for the new Spider-Man game. I always go for 13 because, for one, it's my favorite number. And also, why top 13? Because here at the Game Hub, only the odd can be number 1. And a little shout out to Dr. Crafty, where I got this amazing Jack-O-Laugh shirt. Go check out his merchandise. You can get a whole bunch of his designs as artwork, t-shirts, in variety of colors. And, because I love you, Crafty, link in the description for his channel is going to be right. Hang on. Is this going to work for once? Let me just move over. Dr. Crafty's YouTube channel will be right here. Shameless plug-in for him because he's a fantastic guy, and I can't wait for his new videos to come out. So go check him out. He's an amazing artist. And now, let's get on to this. So these will be my ideas of what we can expect in Season 2 of The Wolf Among Us. Now, the trailer kind of gave us some indications a little bit, but at the same time, I just still need to input my opinions. So, let's howl like the wolf and get into it. You know what, I'm not really going to do since this isn't a traditional top 13, I'm going to skip all the editing. I said we're going to skip it. I don't care if I always do it. I'm not doing it. Considering this isn't really a countdown, why am I doing the countdown? What the hell do you mean, budget problems? Okay, how about this? If we skip it this time, I'll go bigger next time. Deal? Okay, seriously, can anyone explain what this text voice is? I mean, is it like Kingdom Hearts in the beginning, where that voice that no one knows who it is? Because I really need to get that sorted out quickly. So, one of the first things that I really want in the next Wolf Among Us is more investigation scenes. Is a lot more of them. Like, not in every episode, but maybe episodes 1, 2, 4, and then maybe 5 if given. Because when I do them, I feel more of the detective of Big B and not just, the asking questions and beating the heck out of other Fables. Like we did in Toad's house, where we have to find the corresponding links to prove he's lying, and I think that's the only time we really did that. But more investigation scenes like that, like seeing evidence, collecting evidence, and all that, which is what I really like. And they did more of those in the Batman games and the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game, which I will be reviewing later. So yeah, a little bit more investigation scenes, not too many of them, just a good amount. Yeah. Because a part of Big B is being the detective, so what's the point in being a detective if you don't actually detect? Number 12 is something I don't think they're going to do these for any future Telltale games, but something I really love is hidden trophies. Something in, like how they used to do, like if you did something obscure in a game, or if you do something this way, you'll get an achievement for doing said thing. Like in all games, like if you, let's say if we go like Not So Bad Wolf, complete a chapter of The Wolf Among Us 2 without insulting or harming another character. Or maybe the nose. Correctly branch a suspect's lie in an investigation section. Stuff like that would be kind of fun, and it would engage the people. I mean, I think it would be a fun idea to have these back in the Telltale games. Yeah, because the last time they really did, a majority of them was in the Back to the Future game, and oh boy, they did a lot of fun ones. Next, we need longer chapters, because even though depending on the choices you make, the game can be shorter or longer, or if you do things well, and if you don't die, and if you're not stupid. But I say longer chapters because going back on it, episodes 3 and 4 of the first season were pretty short, given in regards to the other chapters and episodes of the game. Because chapter 3, we literally bolted and got 3 trophies like that just for doing the simple stuff, just talking and not that much navigation or dialogue sections. I mean, there was, but just not as much that would prolong the episode. So if they could put in a number of good branches, and then, although to be honest, replayability is a whole part of the Telltale thing. So, like when they did the Book of Fables, it depending on the choices we made and where we went, who we talked to, and how we did, it really gave us more information on each, on the characters, on the locations, on the story. So I think a longer story could definitely improve in that aspect and give us a little bit more of what happened in the last couple months. Oh yeah, just a little side note, the new season will be taking place during winter time. So it's a good maybe couple months, 2, 3, 5, a good number of months since the end of the first game, so hopefully a good number of things have changed and we get to see a whole bunch more. Next thing I really want, that I always enjoy in games, but at the same time I would really love it in this, is a surprise villain twist. I mean, obviously the Crooked Man last season was a really cool villain, even though he only appeared at the end of chapter 3, and then at the end of chapter 4, and then predominantly through chapter 5. I like saying chapter now instead of episode, because episode makes it feel like so long ago when they started doing episode stuff. But maybe not like a criminal mastermind, but maybe someone who's been pulling the strings behind the scenes, like manipulating events, in order to implicate someone and just to ruin Bigby or screw with him a little bit, that's something I would really enjoy. I mean, obviously, like what happened in the Batman Telltale Season 2, The Enemy Within, I will be reviewing that later this year, so don't worry. Depending on what choices you made in the first season, you can implement the choices into the next season. So I really want them to do that in this one as well. Whereas if you made certain promises to certain characters, if you decide to off the Crooked Man or not, or imprison him, put stuff like that, and that depending on what you did or what you put in will affect some of the overall story and character interactions. So that's something that they did in the second game of Batman that they could definitely implement here in order to make it a little bit more interesting. But a surprise villain, it's still low on my list of what I want, but at the same time, I think it's an idea that it's been done in a lot of the Telltale games, so maybe it might happen, it might not, but maybe someone just, again, pulling the strings behind the scenes. And if I swear to God, since I said that, if it's Pinocchio, I'm going to lose it. I'm just saying. Wait, is Pinocchio even in the Fables? Maybe. Now, it has been... Now, years ago when it first came out, the images of each episode, some of them were changed a little bit. Like in episode 3 of Crooked Mile, it showed the human detective going through the woodlands, and Bigby seems like she's following him. That was later changed to Bigby chasing Crane's car. So the image was changed because a couple things may have been removed, and so stuff like that. I'm getting at that I would really love to see more Mundy interactions. Now, Mundys are what the Fable characters call humans, because they are living among the humans in New York. And that's one thing I would love to see more. And from the trailer, I guess we're going to see a lot more human Mundys in this season. Hopefully. Maybe a little bit more interactions with Bigby and some of them. And maybe, you know, the Mundys are... One Mundy in particular gets involved with this investigation and is working with Bigby and Snow, but doesn't really understand the Fables. Like, she just thinks that they're actual people. So that would be really interesting to see. And if there's a relationship with a Mundy and Bigby, I might have to break my controller. Bigby and Snow all the way. Now, this is something that I would really love in order to understand where you are with certain characters within certain chapters of the game. And this is something I would love to call the character meter, where once you meet a new character, you can go into your book of Fables and you will see their meter of if they hate you, if they like you. I kind of got this idea from what was the game? Catherine, when they did the morale meter after you answer a question. But during the game, and as you do certain things to one character, it could secretly change the perception of another character of you if word gets out or something like that. So if a character doesn't like you, or if they do like you, it could affect certain avenues of the game. So I would really love to see something like that. I mean, yeah, I know they always show, like, this character will remember that, or they will remember this. Or, my favorite thing, silence is a valid option. Which it is not, for me. But something like that, so during said episodes, you can kind of check on what characters are and what their mood is of you. So that would really work. Now, this one is personally because I love a good read of the side stuff, like taking a break and just reading stuff. A bunch of new Fable entries in the Book of Fables. So the Book of Fables, once you meet a new character or once you find an item or something within the game and a new entry is added to the Book of Fables, you get to read a little bit about the story. So people who aren't a big fan, who aren't big Fable readers, can read a little bit more of the lore of the game. Now, this is a lot better done than people suddenly expecting to know the story. Because, again, this is a different take on the stories. So I think adding a whole bunch of new entries within each chapter would do very good for new fans to understand the world that they're playing. Because you can't enjoy a game if you're not immersed in the world. I mean, at least that's my opinion. Wow, we're pretty much almost done this list. But again, this is like a rapid fire thing of all my quick ideas. But we're getting into like the big ones. So, it's going to get a little bit longer. The next one are, like, I know the game does this very well. I need a little bit more influential choices. More of them. Like, some episodes, you make a choice. It doesn't really freaking matter. Like, if you decide to help Mr. Toad and TJ, like, if you give him a pass in the beginning of the episode, if you give him money, if you give him a warning, if you help him, at the end of the game, they still go to the farm, which is sad. Because I liked Toad. As much as he was an outright jackass, I still loved it. I still loved him. And TJ was so great. And I really want there to be choices, like, not every choice needs to make a big one, but if they're going to perceive what you're doing is going to make a difference, and then they take it back and say, it didn't matter. It did not matter whatsoever. So, I really would have loved more of that. I really would. But yeah, choices like that. Like, I get that it's all about you never know what choices are going to affect something or what the outcome will be. But at the same time, you can't just indicate that what we're doing is going to help when in reality it's not. Although to be fair, that's kind of more like life. But at the same time, I'm sure that we'll see Mr. Toad again. Hopefully. I would really like that. Alright, what's number 4? What's the next one? Oh, right! So, I made this list in 2020 because that's when I found out that Telltale was being revived. So I had to jot down a bunch of my ideas because months later after 2020, we got the announcement that the game's coming back with the E3 re-release, and I just had to jot down as many ideas as I could. And this one I changed a little bit because of the new trailer. So, I'm going to say this. I was originally going to want, again, like I said in the beginning, I wanted more investigation scenes. And now I also want choice scenes. And by that, I mean, because of the trailer, where we see us tailing the Tin Man to a cheap motel, and Scarecrow smoking a bong. Why does that fit so well? And then there's this really, really good-looking chick on the couch watching TV, and while we're brawling, that got me to thinking, what if we could choose to be smart about some things, or if we just go in brute force? And depending on your choice, it again affects certain characters, it affects the next episode in some ways, and it could affect the Fable entries. Much like how if we were beating up Grendel at the end of episode 1, we had the choice of ripping his arm off or leaving him, and that would have affected the Book of Fables and then affected our story overall. So stuff like that where we actually get to choose, like, I mean, I like how in the game we get those snap decisions really quick, and also the decisions of where to go and when, and it all balances out a little bit. But I would like a lot more of these. So, because it makes our choice feel genuine. But then we can go back later and do the same thing or do the opposite to get Book of Fables, to get new story elements, stuff like that. But if it was more focused on that and less of, oh, if you don't do this, this character will die. If you don't do this, you won't figure this out. But that's all about the replayability. So that's one thing I can kind of shelve in the back of my mind and forgive a little bit. But if we're going with the Wizard of Oz characters, I swear they had better be in this game. Because if they're just there for the trailer, I'm going to be mad. Enough said. Now, this is a part of the game I wanted to happen in episode 1. Because it's talked about so much in the game. And I guess it's talked about a lot in the story of the actual Fables comics. But for the game, I think we need to do this. We need to go to the farm. Which, for those of you who don't know, is basically an area in... I don't really remember what area of New York it's in, but it's in a place where all the Fables who can't stay glamored, who are either animals, monsters, or something like that, if they can't afford to stay glamour, they go to the farm until they can get things better. So I guess it's like the village or something. I'm not 100% sure on this. But we've talked about it so much. So if during this investigation of whatever we're investigating in this new season, if it takes us to the farm, let it take us to the farm, because it would be interesting. Talking to certain Fables who are there, talking to Mr. Toad and TJ, and then maybe when we go back to New York, we find out that they snuck on board and to get out, and he can either rat them out or help them. Something like that would be great, because I'm really interested in what the farm looks like. I mean, yeah, we get a small picture of it in the Book of Fables, but I would love to investigate it and see all, like, just go all around it. It would be so much fun. I mean, at least for me. So please, Telltale, if you're gonna do the farm, please. I've waited 9 years for it. I think we deserve the farm. Okay, these are now my top 2 things I want in the next season, and this one is a close second. I mean, we need more Bigby and Snow romance a little bit. Like, a lot more moments with them. I mean, yeah, I know we get a lot of them in episodes 3. Okay, every single episode when they're on screen, like, we can either be professional or very flirty, and I really love it. Especially episode 3 when we're getting checked out and we're getting bandaged up, and yeah, Snow can't stop looking at the wolf abs. I see you, Snow. And there's always moments between them, and I love it. Like, I never knew anything about Fables until I played this game and did a little bit more research. I would 100% love if we actually got some Bigby and Snow romance in this game. I mean, we got Batman and Catwoman romance in episode 3 of season 1, and the romance continued into season 2. Okay, there wasn't that much romance, but more lovey-dovey stuff. But I would really love some romance. Maybe, can we at least have the option? I mean, they're obviously not going to have us do it. Can we at least ask Snow, like, before the big investigation happens? Like, what if the big investigation happens at the end of episode 1, and we're just going around Fabeltown, doing a couple quick things, and then we just come across the big discovery and stuff. So, can we at least have a part of episode 1 where we maybe ask Snow on, like, if to get lunch or something, so somewhat of a date, but then we can't do that because we fall into a case, and then during the next couple episodes, we have to explain to her and work together again. And then during that, we get more romance moments. I mean, come on! I'm a big sucker for romance, so we need this in spades. Also, from what I found out from doing research, that I would love it if Snow's sister, Red Rose, I don't know if it's real. I think it's real because I looked it up. So apparently she cheated on Snow's husband, Prince Charming. So I would love it if things, like, once certain moments are getting good, maybe her sister comes into town, and, I mean, she's already in town, but comes along and tries to screw everything up so we get a little bit more drama going on and a lot more conflict, which I really love in these games. And we're going to have to try to pick sides and make sure Snow is always on the good side. So maybe something to that effect. I mean, I would love that. And now we have reached the end. And this is going to be quite possibly one of my biggest game rants that if they do not answer this question, then I'm going to be mad throughout all of Season 2. If we do not get an answer to this, I'm going to be mad as hell, and I don't think I'll be able to enjoy Season 2. After 10 years of waiting, and every Wolf Among Us fan has reacted to this, has posted theories, have posted rants, have posted anything about this one thing that happened in the game that Telltale, you better answer, or come hell or high water, we will get answers. For fans of the game, you know what the hell I'm talking about. The big Nerissa reveal at the end of the game. Not the end of an episode, not the end of a segment, but directly at the end of the game, we get this whole thing of Nerissa, the Little Mermaid, who tried to help us throughout this entire game of the case, could be Faith, the escort we helped in the beginning of the first episode, and then she was dead. I'm spoiling. I don't care. I'm going to review the game in October anyway. And then we find out that Nerissa could be the one who died, and Faith is the one who's glamored as Nerissa in order to help her, or Nerissa knows something, and it's just 100% screwy. And the way they end it is, once we get it through our head of what could happen, we either smoke a cigarette and let her go, or we go after her, and the game ends. It's one of those moments in a video game where I have never been so dumbfounded that they did this, and I've been mad at it for over a decade now. And that's hard for me to say, because do I hold a grudge? Hell, yes, depending on what it is, I will hold a grudge. But at the same time, it's not one of those theories that a whole bunch of people come up with in a video game. Like, for instance, who Luciu was until it was revealed in Kingdom Hearts 3. Who the Master of Master is in Kingdom Hearts. It's not one of those that obviously got answered later on, or like when we first played Kingdom Hearts 2, and at the secret ending, it shows that the 3 Keyblade wielders and the old man and the armor and the dude with the dark helmet, we had no clue who that was. So people were speculating about that maybe that was Kairi, Sora, and Riku in the distant past, or something like, reincarnation BS. But no, in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, we get an answer to all that. But the fact that the Wolf Among Us has been able to keep this reveal secret for until the game's release, it will be a decade. It's something that needs to be addressed in this season. It needs to be addressed, because if it isn't, fans are just going to go batshit over it. Oh my God, I can't believe that I'm ranting about something that hasn't been fully confirmed yet, But at the same time, if it's not confirmed, it's just going to make people go crazier with the ideas. So yeah, the Nerissa Faith thing, it needs to be addressed. And not just addressed, it needs to be explained. But if I were to bet money on it, I'm pretty sure this is what Telltale's response to that would be. Yeah, I had to go out on that joke because when they were reading the tweets, and one of them was with Adam Harrington, the voice of Bigby, who's another great voice actor. I would love to meet him one day. When one of the tweets says, "Me, Telltale, when's Wolf Among Us? Telltale, silence is a valid response." Yeah, if they have that for the Faith and Nerissa thing, I'm going to rage quit. I'm not kidding. So, hopefully, next year, I can howl at the moon with joy that the wolf is back in town. And that's all my ideas for what could happen in The Wolf Among Us 2. What do you guys think? Did you like some of my ideas? Did you think maybe I'm going off the rails? Do you think I'm overthinking everything? Put in the comments section of what you think could happen in the next game. So thank you for enjoying this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and join me next week where we end the month of March by doing another DLC that hopefully the siege is better than what happened last time. I wouldn't count on it. This is Gamer K, logging out.